Hello, hello, everybody. Shalom, shalom, boker tov, as we say in Hebrew. Bonsoir, I don't know. What languages should we say hello in? Can everybody hear me okay? It looks like the sound is pretty gosh darn good. Mila is napping. Let's give ourselves a little bit more sun. Hi, Mila. You gonna come join the chat? Well, hopefully that helps everybody see me a little bit better. Thank you, everybody who has decided to spend your Sunday with me. I really do appreciate it. It looks like there's close to 300 people here. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you again for tuning in. Be sure and share, like, subscribe, and put the little notification button if you want to get notifications about these live events, upcoming events, etc., etc. I also want to give a shout out and thank you to our moderators extraordinaire. Keisha Harris is in the house, Michelle Taylor, Dreamweaver. Thank you so much, everyone. I know that you don't get paid, and I really do appreciate the fact that you do that. I also want to give a shout out to everybody who came in early. Clybel, hello. Douglas, hello. Douglas C. Junine Keela, Maria Wells, Rory B. Hope, hello. Deb Halderson, Teresa Harper, Pamela S. Scarsborough, welcome. Let's see here. There's a couple people that I'm adding as moderators just because they come here a lot. Douglas, do you want to be a moderator? Adventurous Spirit, you can bow out, but I went ahead and made you a moderator. People have been requesting more moderators, people I know and trust. Fill her in if you don't want to do it. You don't have to. I went ahead and added you as well. Patricia Jones, welcome, welcome. Ruth Pearl, Barbara Scott, Joanne Sinise. Yes, singing. Singing. Well, I've been working on a couple different things. The wrist is recovering. Thank you very much for the prayers. So I'm back. I'm trying to play the guitar again. Hopefully we'll be able to start playing the guitar for everybody. We'll do it after hours because a lot of people come here to get readings and they don't want to be serenaded by me, and that's cool. I was very giddy after Biden got elected. I just didn't care. You turn 57 and you just don't have to care. But I did put makeup on for you today, and I do hope you noticed. Mark Rhodes is in the house. Hello. Special shout out to Mark Rhodes and Finch, who sponsored today's video. And as you can see, I want you to get a good look at this. I'm wearing a Finch t-shirt. He's the artist that comes out of San Francisco. Is this not the freaking greatest thing in the world? This is the artist that I've been bragging about. I love this guy. He takes an ordinary object that everybody this is an international object. We used to have honey bears in Israel, the Middle East. Everybody in the world he took an object that we all know. Honey, right? But then he did something really clever. He takes a symbol and he hides it within the ordinary, within the common, and then you have to seek it out. So the one that I got from Finch is I believe this is the LGBTQ flag. Is that not freaking cool? So the point is, which is in the everyday, if we want to see people, we have to look a little deeper. It just looks like, and then look a little deeper, you find there's more there. So thank you to Finch and to Mark Rhodes for sponsoring the free t-shirt. And also I want to give a special shout out to Mark Rhodes for the chocolates. Oh my God, he sent me the most delicious chocolates. This is from Little John's Candies out of San Francisco. I think they do ship if you decide you want to get some. But he gave me a lot of chocolate. And it's some of my favorites, like the marshmallow. So I'm putting it in the refrigerator and I'm allotting just a little bit every single day. But boy, do I love Little John's chocolates. If you'd like to find out more about the artist Finch, it's spelled FNNCH. And he has all kinds of bears that symbolize different things depending upon which community you would like to express your love of. He had another really cute one he sent me called Boat. It was the boat. All right, how are we doing on the angle? Ooh, Fillerin is having a post-workout smoothie. My breakfast today is the green smoothie. I'm having Orac Protein and Greens by Paradise. And I put some frozen berries, some chia, rice and almond milk, a little bit of goat's yogurt for my digestion. You don't need that. You can do a no yogurt or a vegan yogurt if you're vegan. The chia all settled to the bottom. I threw a couple walnuts in there also. So that's my brunch. Last week when you saw me, I had avocado toast. All right, the second bit of news I want to make is to give a shout out to the people who sent me mask. Look at this mask. Is this not incredible? Somebody hand sewed a mask with mushrooms on it. And actually, I was making button mushrooms last night because I made a pasta and I cut the ends off. And then you're supposed to just throw them in your mushroom bed. And theoretically, you should be able to grow your own mushrooms. So I have been collecting the bottoms of the mushroom tops. So, and I did get a nice note with this, and it's from Tina. Tina, I got your note, and yes, I was supposed to write you a thank you card, and I apologize, but I will definitely do that today. I keep putting it on hold, and then I forget. How's everybody holding out? Are you ready for your remote, the remote viewings from last night? Yeah, I have to. Well, yeah, I could. What you can do is you can put them in the blender. Yeah, maybe grind them first off. All right, let's move on. I had to give gratitude and a thank you to Finch because they gave, and Mark Rhodes because they gave such nice gifts. And it's cute though, isn't it? It fits me perfectly, by the way. So ready. Okay, so as we said in the last live we did, that we're now in book 2. We are well into book 2. And book 2 will be the fight for the Senate, but also the soul of America as we start to see people rebuilding in areas where we kind of lost ground, particularly the Democratic Party. So what we're going to see is an attempt. There's going to be unifiers, and then there's going to be dividers. The new Republican Party is going to be interested in unifying the country and possibly also investing in the new economy, because as I had mentioned in previous remotes, we are heading towards rebuilding infrastructure, green economy, and I'm going to be very specific about the areas that are going to see a resurgence of the new economy. Definitely a lot of investment is going to be going into South Pennsylvania. And as I've said in previous remotes, we're also talking specifically about a valley area that I popped into in North Carolina. Now, every time I follow the future of green capitalism in the United States, I find the target. That's how this works. If you're a heart-centered remote viewer, you connect with the energy of, say, the new green commerce, and then you give your heart to it and you let it carry you wherever it's going to carry you. That's how this works. That's the energy. So every time I do that technique, I find myself in a valley in what is northwest North Carolina. So if you want to go to Google Maps, those of you who are becoming heart-centered remote viewers, this is how it works. You'll latch the you'll lock onto the target. You're going to be like a bloodhound. You're going to smell the scent You're going to get a rough idea study, like this is the scent I'm looking for. And then you're going to put yourself into your trance state. And we've talked about how to get yourself into the trance state, whether you're using an herbal medicine to do it, or if you're just doing it the bond technique, no herbs, just chanting mantra. You can find Introduction to the 5-Step Heart-Centered Remote Technique in our playlist. People who have been doing spirit walking for a long time, people who are familiar with Tantra, are very familiar with these classic 5 steps. So if you go to Northwest Carolina and you zoom into the map, and thank you to my friend Ursula, she was working with it. See, sometimes I'll have somebody help me, whether it's my assistant Chuck or my friend Ursula, if she's got some free time, we will try and locate the actual area that I'm finding on a map. So what Ursula and I did is we went to we Googled North Carolina. You can do it now yourselves. This is helping anybody who's interested in investing. Also, if you're looking for cheap land in an area that's going to be serious money in the future. So let's see here. We found ourselves, anybody having trouble finding this? There's a reason why I'm spending time on this. We wound up in a valley, and when I looked, it's Miller's Creeks, Wilkesboro, Moravian Falls. And I need everybody to go in and take a look that has a map. So what you're seeing is you're seeing Highway 64, 77, 21. It's a big circle. And if you take a look, you can see the Swidden agriculture, that all the streams are running down into the center area of Miller's Creek. To the top, you'll see Sparta, Chartley Springs, West Jefferson. You see that whole circular ring? That's the future Simi Valley of the green economy. So if you happen to want to get rich on land, that would be the area. It's cool, though, as an anthropologist, to see that area, to see that it's just a giant valley and how all the streams come down to a central river. It's like, oh, that's why Gaia sent me there. It's absolutely beautiful. Imagine it would be beautiful to go visit. Hi, Callie. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not doing personal readings today. I would definitely talk to my doctor and take good care of yourself. But we will definitely send prayers. All right, so that was the first thing I want to talk about. So the green economy is coming up. If you happen to be from North Carolina, the Northwest area, you're probably dancing in the streets right now. Woohoo! You're very welcome. I was happy to share that. My only request, since you do now have this information, is to please honor Gaia. No chemicals, no toxins, no pollutants in that area, because that is going to be a pretty special place in the coming years. The second part of, are we ready to move on, or any questions about the first remote? Any questions about North Carolina and the green economy? Can we go on? Doreen, you're going to be very wealthy if you play your cards right. I hope I gave good description about where that valley is, and you can go ahead and take a look at it on the map. That's where I popped out at last month. I found. It is, Daisy? I've been there virtually because, like I said, the energy pulled me into a valley, and then I didn't know where I was, and I knew I was somewhere in Northwest Carolina, and then my friend Ursula called after the remote, and I was like, I'm in the middle of a valley in Northwest Carolina. And she's, okay, you know what to do. We know what to do. We go on the map, and then we were able to locate the actual area. Isn't it crazy? It's like almost an exact perfect circle. And then all the streams come down to that. So in a Swidden agriculture, you wind up on the bottom with extremely fertile, nutritious soil because it's all running down, and it's also hydrated. So that was why Gaia sent us there. All right. So can we go on? I didn't get permission to move on. I want, there's 844 of us, so I want to move on. Yes, we can move on. No questions about Northwest Carolina? Hi, Patrick. Good to see you here. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Patrick. Yes, move on. Okay, thank you. Okay, so the next target, people had asked me to go in and check on Donald Trump. I felt as Donald Trump that I have been in a situation. Look, in life, we all lose. Losing is part of life. It's how you learn. It's how you become better. We've all done bad on a test. It's human. It's human. So like all people in life, Donald Trump has lost things. He's lost businesses. He's gone bankrupt. I actually disagreed with Mary Trump here because when I went into the energy, I felt like I had been a loser, but how I cope with being a loser is it's no it. Oh, you need the specific location. Are you trying to, Michelle? Are you trying to remote view back and go back into the valley? Yeah. Okay. So I felt like the way that I cope with losing as Donald Trump is I simply just change the story. And so he comes to terms with his loss, but he will do it in a way that doesn't make him a loser. So he now admits that Biden is the president elect, but he didn't get there honestly. Then that's going to change to, yeah, but it was the media. Thank you, S. Kim. Oh, I like being me, and I can't be anybody but me. Oh, good. Celtic. Hi, Sheila. Oh, well, I'm glad you're here, Sheila. He's so surprised because when I went into the remote, I felt that there was an attempt to cheat or suppress the vote. One way was to put DeJoy in there to try and block the mail. The other thing, there was also some shady business that happened in Florida, and the Democrats and the intelligence agencies, Homeland, et cetera, they've been looking at voter fraud in Georgia and Florida for a while. For example, Homeland Security hacked into voting in 2018 of Georgia, and Georgia detected it. They also attempted to get in Florida, and the reason that they were doing that was to see if they could break in. So the Homeland is aware of what states are most likely to get hacked. In terms of whether or not the election was stolen or if we can trust the data, the thing that's kind of interesting is that all votes are encrypted. So everybody's vote, even if you vote electronically, is encrypted. When you go in, what it looked like to me as the remote viewer, thank you, Super Queen Bee, it's really kind of you. You have Google moderators removing comments on your channel. Oh, I don't know who that is or what you're talking about. Google moderators removing comments from my channel. I'm not familiar with that. I personally have removed conspiracy theories. So you know, if excuse me, if a comment's been removed, it's very likely. Well, I removed some comments that have to do with conspiracy theories that are being. No, I'm not going to give it credit. It just happened from Google. Where? Here? Oh, it happened. I don't know. Anyway, so getting back, yeah, like fake news and stuff like that, they might delete. And if somebody's promoting it or asking a question about fake news, it might get flagged. Oh, it happened a few minutes ago? Yeah, okay. It is for entertainment purposes. I don't have a problem with Google checking for things like that because, I don't have a problem with it. If I had anyway, yeah, I'm trying to do the remote. Okay, God bless the Google bot. It's not a big issue. You guys sent your questions early to me, or you can email them at whimsyanderson@gmail.com. So yeah, I just really want to get to this so we can go. We have so many blitzes. You guys have no idea how much stuff we have. So I have to go on. So anyway, so what's happening with Donald Trump is that he's coming to terms with the fact that how he comes to terms with the fact that he's lost is he simply shares, changes the narration. Now it's going to be the fault of the media. We talked about the fact that he's going to go into media. He's also not going to cooperate in any way, shape, and form to ongoing criminal investigations. It goes back to the remote by where we heard Bob Mueller say sooner or later. Remember Robert Mueller? Sooner or later, you're gonna be mine. Sooner or later, you're gonna be fine. 'Cause I always get my man. Sooner or later, right? There is this feeling of impending doom around the Trump presidency. Also, I feel like Pence is nowhere to be found. Like there's a miscommunication here. He was given an offer, I think it was a year and a half ago when we went into the remote, that he was told his goose is cooked. See the writing on the wall. If they're talking like this already, imagine how much worse it's going to be a year and a half from now. Take the deal, resign, have Pence pardon you, and get the heck out of there before you wind up in worse situation. If you're committing additional crimes, you're not going to be able to get away with it. Nixon couldn't get away with it. You can't say when the president does it, it is not illegal. Furthermore, when you go into the remote, he's being warned by people in intelligence, people in the Pentagon, etc., that it would be very unwise of him to threaten anyone at this point, because in a very short amount of time, he's going to be a public citizen. He's, a private citizen. He's not going to have any power in a very look. We'll give him security. He'll get a small retirement fund, but he's in a lot of trouble. And whether or not even Pence is in a position to give him a pardon at this time, I think is questionable, because I always thought that he would resign. I thought he would walk off the job, and he did. 9 months out. 9 months before he quit, he walked off the job. He gave the COVID to Pence, went off and played golf, and now we're in this situation. So the problem is he waited so long. I don't know if at this point Pence is going to be able to do much of anything for him. But I still don't think he has the emotional wherewithal to show up at the inauguration. Not that there's going to be a parade or anything. I think they've canceled it this year. But, oh, so sweet of you, Patrick. Thank you. So that's the remote. I don't, the window is closing. He's refusing to cooperate. He waited too long to strike a deal. Every day he loses power, and every day he loses additional support from the GOP. And the GOP doesn't want him helping in Georgia because, as far as they're concerned, he's the reason they lost Georgia. So if it were me and I was in his shoes with these kinds of energies coming up, I would probably resign resign early, give it to Pence, and hope that Pence could give me some kind of a pardon, because at this point there's really he's the only thing that he needs to do is govern because of COVID, and he walked off the job, and COVID cost him the election. Yeah, so he's now going into competition with Fox News. We'll see how that works out. But those are the remotes. You know, how do I help other people get rich? You know how many people have got? I should buy land in Northwest North Carolina. You know. All right, we're going to do a simple prayer. We're going to go in. We're going to give ourselves a collective reading. And I want to give thank you to everybody who's donated. Thank you, Pat B. Very kind of you. Patrick, of course, and S. Kim. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, he's not polite, and that rubs Republicans the wrong way. Also, Lindsey Graham, when you go into that energy, people talk about how he won, but people should know that Harrison captured a pretty impressive chunk of the male white voter. He captured most of the young male white voter, and it goes back to the energy of the young white guy from the South. Maybe his girlfriend is black, or his he's living in a different South than Lindsey Graham. And there is really a rift starting to form between the young Southern man, the liberal rednecks, the you know, people who are from the South, and they're white guys, and they really are not bigots. They just happen to be born in the South, and they don't want to be part of Lindsey Graham's race baiting. And it really pissed a lot of people off, and it nearly cost Lindsey Graham the election. All right, we're going to go in now, and we're going to give everybody we're going to go ahead and give everybody a collective reading. How's that sound? Would you all like to get your reading for the week? Now I have 5 decks out, and I'm deciding which deck I want to do. I think I'm going to use this deck. Can't remember the name of it. I bought it. I thought it was so pretty. What's the name of this deck? It's the Gilded Tarot we're going to be using today. It's put out by Marchetti. Let's do a simple prayer. We're going to go in, and we'll give you guys a general. Give me a general, too. Harrison has a great future. But boy, those young white guys, they were about ready to drag Lindsey Graham out. It's like race baiting. Come on. This guy hasn't spent much time in South Carolina. The South Carolina music scene, it's all integrated. He's living in a dream world. He's living in a world that came to an end 50 years ago. All right, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this group as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, for the planet, for the people we love, but also to help those we have strife with. And together we say, Amen. Let's go in. And the only thing that's going to happen in 4 years, and this is what Lindsey Graham needs to get with the program, is that guys that are, 14 years old now are going to be voting in the next election. It's a losing strategy. Where we are at right now as a community, it's the time of the woman. It's the time of the woman, and it's the time of the power of the feminine. The feminine energy comes to us, and it comes to us in a really strong way. There's two female archetypes that are coming in and leading, and applies both to men as well as to women. It doesn't mean that men are bad and that women are good or anything silly like that. It just means that women lead and govern, women mentors differently traditionally than male mentors. And you need both. You have to have good mentors in your life. But we can see here the base of the matter is the Queen of Wands. And we can also see the Queen of wow, that's such a beautiful, beautiful art. The Queen of Swords, two archetypes come to us and to the group. As we all know, who've been watching this channel for a long time, I read the Queen of Wands as Yehudit, who was the judge, the leader of the tribe. She seeks the motto of the archetype Yehudit. Does everybody remember her motto? Leaders always have to have a motto, right? She seeks justice absolute, right? That's from the Torah. Right? We don't just seek justice, we seek justice absolute, meaning perfect balance. So she wields the wand of authority and she does not compromise. There are things we can compromise on, like, okay, Tuesday I take out the trash, Wednesday you cook the kids' dinner. That's a normal compromise. But when it comes to justice and ethics, Yehudit makes no compromise. She seeks justice absolute. She carries the wand of authority. So I would argue that this group has entered into a place where we now know the difference between ego and standing your ground based on your ethics. That's not ego, that's fighting the good fight. Because it doesn't involve you personally. It involves the ethos and the well-being of the collective. And that's how you can tell the difference. I just heard someone asking that question. So the difference between your personal ego is I'm bruised because I didn't get it my way, as opposed to Queen of Wands, where she thinks in terms of the will or the good of the tribe. And so so this is an anger because we see fellow sentient beings have not been treated right. So she seeks justice absolute. Queen of Swords puts the past behind her. She has cried her last tear. She's very stoic. And that's the karma we have to go through right now, because the second card, the karma card, is the Queen of Swords. She's the divorcee or the widow. She has wept, she has cried, she has gnashed her teeth, and now the past is gone, never to be returned again. We've spent far too many years grieving about what could have been and should have been. And Queen of Swords comes in to say, wipe your tears. The past is gone. It is time to cut off the past, seek the sword of justice and truth. She's a powerful force when she's combined with the Queen of Wands. Where we're at right now, Seven of Wands is to construct something. Seven of Wands has an aspect also, not just to construct, but to defend. I've talked about Seven of Wands as being a card that I sometimes use for environmental, to defend the land, particularly if you're looking at the universal Rider-Waite or the Rider-Waite. He's standing on a mountain and there's a nice stream there. The water protectors will sometimes come as Seven of Wands, but it's often the person who protects and defends the land. So you can see the imagery that's coming to us. It's about boundaries, others invading our personal space, threatening the sacred waters, and saying, okay, you've had enough fun here now, pumpkin. It's time to move along now. So mommy's home. You better be scared. Daddy's home. You ever heard that? Daddy's coming. But I would say the boys are scared because mommy's coming. The other aspect of Seven of Wands is that there is some, because it's green capitalism card for me, and because it's about protecting one's boundaries, it's also about the fact that this space is now sacred space. This is holy space, and this space will now be used for a holy or a productive purpose, like the valley in Northwest North Carolina, where Gaia said, yeah, plant it here. This is ideal for what you're trying to do. If you're trying to do green biodynamic farming, do it here. Sweden agriculture is very cost effective because it just waters itself and very nutrient dense, right? So work smarter, not harder. The crossing card is magician, so we manifest what we want. I think that for this group right now, people have gotten really clear-headed. It's something that has come up for a lot of us, knowing the difference between free will versus situations that we don't necessarily have any control over, being able to understand what our personal responsibility versus what is not our personal responsibility. Magician takes responsibility for their actions. It's and manifest. They manifest. But what's interesting about this card chart is that people are very afraid for the future. They want to know, when is the check coming in? Are things going to get worse because COVID's exploding? We want everyone to be stricter than they've ever been because the numbers are higher than they've ever been. I would say that this goes back to the same mantra we hear over and over and over again, which is be about your business, be about your business, hunker down, hunker down, hunker down, take control of your kingdom. The Queen of Wands is in charge, even if her kingdom is only one person. What happens, though, is when you take control of that one kingdom and you are about your business, what happens is you start getting devotees. Your kingdom starts to grow because people are like, what's she doing? She looks fantastic. I need to, can you help me out here? And the next thing you know, you start building from a solid foundation, which I think is what Spirit's been saying to us for a long time. But again, we're entering into a period of power. I would say for this group, this is a time for us collectively of power, being non-apologetic, not holding on to shame that didn't belong to us in the first place, seeking justice, absolute, refusing to be gaslit, putting the past behind us, not crying tears about what could have been, should have been, constructing a new foundation, a new relationship with the world. Three of Pentacles moves into the fourth house. That's real estate. It also is a blueprint or a new contract, a building a new structure. And there's a karma card here. So there's a karma card with us over the building of possibly property. It's almost like a lot of us are going to be involved in green building homes that are eco-friendly, environmentally friendly. Look at this. We've got the Three of Pentacles moving in. It's a nice money card too, nice and green. And it's coming into a Page of Cups to heal. So a lot of people in this group could be starting to get involved in real estate and investing in eco-friendly communities, healthy communities. Where we are at, we are physically and emotionally exhausted. And I don't think this could have gone on much longer before some of us really would have seen some health challenges. You can see here in the seventh house is the 10 of Swords. If he had won 4 more years, I think a lot of people would have just checked out. We literally couldn't do it anymore. It's a feeling of just complete emotional and physical exhaustion. In relationship to others, shame is a horrible emotion. Shame is in fact, shame is one of the worst emotions a person can experience in their body. And human beings will do everything in their power not to feel it, including blaming somebody else. For example, Donald Trump. He doesn't want to feel the shame of his mistakes, and so he will blame somebody else so that he doesn't have to hold on to the shame. People who are survivors of violent crime, abuse, etc. If we live in a society of victim bashing, which I've talked about, I did a thesis on this and doing another thesis on this. People who grow up in an environment where it's just easy for us to dump the shame on the victim so that we don't have, as a collective community, have to hold on to the shame and say, we as adults screwed up. We should have been better about the environment. We should have been better about taking care of vulnerable people in this population, etc. That is the shift, because you can see the 10 of Wands presents in the 8th house, which is the other. We have given the load to the person that is responsible. In plain words, if somebody dumps shame on you, if somebody, whether it's Trump trying to the shame and abuse that the children in the cages were subjected to, the fact that the Ten of Wands sits with the abuser means that take your shame back. It doesn't belong to, it's not our problem. Our problem as adults is to vote him out and to support the Presidential Crimes Commission investigation that they're going to be starting. That is our responsibility. So the fact that we have dumped it on the other is actually a healthy sign. It's not your problem. It's not my problem. It's our problem to take care of ourselves and be about our business. But the shame, blame, the burden has been given to somebody else. Our hope and our fears that we will not be able to get it together. Five of Wands can be a wonderful exchange of ideas. And there are people like Friedman that have said a 50 or 51 Senate would not necessarily be a bad idea because it would force us to have to talk to one another. Five of Wands is about communication, arguing, education, exchange of ideas. If it's inverted, it can be that it collapses. The final outcome for us is Ace of Wands. We will be successful in our endeavors with the Queen of Wands. If you're involved in personal business or starting a new project, I would say it's going to be very good for you. Thank you very much, Julie. Just because, I mean, you're sandwiched between a base card of a Queen of Wands, so you know what you're trying to achieve. You're a magician in a position of power. I'm dumping a bunch of guilt that doesn't belong to me. It's like, no, I'm not responsible for the fact that you did ABC. It belongs to you. It's your problem. My problem is I need to go take care of my business. So there's an unraveling happening here for people in terms of in terms of just clearing the space, because we've gone through so much. The clarification. The clarification is, God, the whole world is going to be transformed. The best way that I can describe this, where we're headed, it's like it's like a Richard Branson futuristic world. Green capitalism. This keeps going back to the same conservative, frugal guy with the fitted shirts who is trying to have the best competition for his marijuana or whatever he's growing. This is the guy that's fanatical, like don't let any mold get into it. Like it's that kind of fanatic. It's showing Republicans as green capitalists, but not just green capitalists, 110% on board, because they get that these are renewable resources. Look at this. We're also entering into the time of the Queen of Pentacles. And that's the other. They see the money opportunities. If you kill the goose, you're not going to keep making money. Oh, we get it now. Protect the soil. The more profits, the more we love Guy, the more money I can make. Oh, check that. So we are coming to communication in ways that are pretty impressive in the coming days. And then the hope and the fear that the conflict, and also we seek justice. The final outcome is complete transformation of the planet. You can see the death card over Ace of Wands, new business. So the whole business world explodes. The reason is because finally the American government is going to start funding this stuff. It wasn't funding these projects before. When Biden gets in and there's pressure from green capitalists, many of whom tend to vote Republican, particularly in areas like Northwest North Carolina, etc., where the new green economy is going to sprout, they will be pushing for the Republicans to get on board because it's just a win situation for everyone. And it's going to make those areas very beautiful places to live. The other vision I had was in the Appalachians. There's a valley below the Appalachians where they're actually, with the new Biden administration, they're just going to start building towns. They were starting to build a town in some of those areas. I wound up in the Appalachians on a remote a couple days ago, and when I looked down the valley, I saw there was this whole area that had cleared that they were supposed to turn into a town, and then they had abandoned it. They're going to start building more of these spot towns and infrastructure in parts of the Appalachians, and that's going to create local green economy. They're going to clean up the Appalachians. All right, that is the general. Yes, because if you lose, say for example, you get a contract to be a mushroom farm in Northwest Carolina, and the federal government is giving you a research grant to grow psilocybin and fly agaricus, and you lose half your, and they're actually taking your samples to do clinical studies. This is actually going on here in Portland, but say they're going to probably start doing it in North Carolina also. As a green capitalist / young Republican, you're going to very much care about the quality of your product because it's the bottom line. And that's why it merges really nicely. They won't change, but when they see that, they will change in the sense that to the best of their ability, they will come to understand it. You have to meet people where they're at. I think that's the takeaway. But boy, the next couple of years, it's like they're doing those, Richard Branson's doing those tubes, and I mean, it's just insane. We're going to get into the little tube and wind up in Europe in an hour. I mean, it's just awesome. So many cool, and that's all work. So much work. Building new towns in the Appalachians, plenty of work. Yeah, Ozarks, all those areas. But the soil, they need to give a little bit of love to the Appalachians because the soil is so acidic, but they will. It will be very profitable, particularly if you go into areas like the southern area of the Appalachians, well, now that I'm in there, I'm looking at the ridge down over the southeast of the Appalachia. When I scan that whole area, that area could be beautiful again in a very short amount of time. All right, we're ready to do our blitzes. Everybody having fun? All right, so we're going to switch cards, and we're going to do three card Monties on the blitzes. Does that work for everybody? Yeah, the Southern Renaissance filler in. It's kind of funny. I started talking about the Southern Renaissance 2 years ago, and now all these politicians from the South are talking about the Southern Renaissance and the green economy. I was like, hey. But it's because we're going to do, Regina, we'll do a 3-part card Monties. But it's because everybody got the download, right? Everybody's picking up the same information. Yeah, Bezos. Well, Bezos wants to do floating cities. He wants to have space stations be extended and rotate, and then you can just go on a large dock and you can visit a city that way. And eventually it's going to be like, he wants it to be like the equivalent of cruising. You go up to a space, you can even buy a condo up there if Jeff Bezos gets his wish. And then you would just be rotating the earth in a rotating city. And, I think I'll go down and see Paris for the day. Someone said, would it block the sun? No, they don't block the sun. They're really tiny. up there, floating around. All right, so the first question was about the future shutdowns in the state and how long the COVID shutdowns will be going on, and we'll do 3 cards. We're going to use the Whimsy deck today for this. It's going to happen very, very soon. Within 4 months, most people will be able to get the vaccine. It's also going to be affordable. You can see the Chariot. It moves very, very quickly. The 9 of Cups, we get our wish. And then the Queen of Cups, it will be offered. Let me do a clarification on this. We had a death card over the Chariot. So transformation and movement. I think, look, Mitch McConnell used to be friends of Joe Biden, but then he decided to declare war on Barack Obama. But they used to have a very friendly relationship. But you can see here, Page of Pentacles, coin coming in, over an offer with 9, or over the wish card. There's also going to be donations or financial support from people's businesses where they work, because Page of Pentacles would suggest possibly business coming in. So say I work for Microsoft, then I would donate, Microsoft would donate money to make sure that everybody who wants to get a vaccine can get a vaccine, because they have a charity, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which does great work. They gave $1 million to our group, which is naturopathic doctors in Portland, Oregon, through NUNM when I was doing my residency here in Portland. So I can say they are really a great organization. They're not. I know that the Russians don't like Bill Gates, but actually they've done some good work, including promoting natural medicine. So I respect them for that. But so you can see here the Queen of Cups comes in, offer, and then Ace of Wands, again, success. But Ace of Wands would also suggest, with that Page of Pentacles, I think that actual business corporations will start funding to make sure that everybody that works for them is given free and affordable vaccines. Yeah, I think by April I get a 4. I get 4, 4, 4. So fourth month would be April. As I said, I saw the vaccine October, November. We were in phase 3 trials October, November, and they've started to vaccinate teachers, doctors, nurses, etc. with about, I think I heard it was between 92 and 94% effective. It's out of Germany. I think they're using saline, and there's no mercury or anything. They're pretty good about that in Germany. So I'm not seeing any side effects, but I'll go ahead and look at the safety of the vaccine now. I'm going to get the vaccine, personally. I'm not scared of it. Just as healthcare workers, I mean, we want to get back to our lives. This is now for the safety of the vaccine, because people had asked about that as well. Yeah, it's safe. 3 of rods moving in. Our wish has been granted. Ace of rods. Success in the endeavor. Chariot, it will move very quickly. That's not the main problem. The main problem... Oh, interesting. Is convinced... See, they can't force people to take the vaccine, but here's the problem. If everybody doesn't take the vaccine, or if a certain percentage of people don't take the vaccine, then what happens is that it's going to be hard for us to conquer the virus. So there has to be a certain percentage of people who are immunized, or either naturally because they've had it or because they've been vaccinated. And if a large swath of people will not get vaccinated, then we run the risk of it constantly spreading. But if enough people, particularly the young, got vaccinated, then it would die out. And so there's the fact that the Ace of Swords comes in with the Chariot. It's up to us if we want to get vaccinated. But the more people vaccinated, the faster it'll be eradicated, because it's just a spread. It just has to do with the spread. The fact that the Ace of Swords with the Chariot coming out leads me to suspect that enough people are going to be vaccinated, people at high risk. Even if you're not high risk and you think you're just going to be a asymptomatic spreader, that can be really dangerous, because you could be spreading it to vulnerable people and not know it. But the fact that the Ace of Swords is there, I would say very good news for the COVID vaccine. All right, people had asked me if I could take a look at Bannon and Mercer. And we are going to be going past the hour, so if people need to take off, I understand, but we're going to go late today because the remote viewing went quite a while, but I mean, it went for a long time, but I wanted to, because I wanted people to see how we pinpoint an area. All right, let's take a look at Bannon and Mercer now. He's in trouble. I don't even know how to interpret it. The King of Cups, he's going to try and make a deal with the incoming administration. He's going to try and get away with something. He beseeches the administration, Two of Swords, doesn't want to give information, sneaks away, right? And then he finds himself a web, the Eight of Cups. He has created a situation he can't get out of, or there's a web here that he's created for someone else. Someone is constructing a web, or someone is constructing something. He's fighting with the upcoming administration. He's offering them. Thank you, Tamara. It's very kind of you. 10 of Cups. Yeah, they're in legal trouble. The Death card and the Eight of Cups, or to be snagged, is over the Mercers and Bannon. 10 of Cups is a celebration we have over a situation where we couldn't get access to the information. Two of Swords is like hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, totally closed, justice denied. But there's a 10 of Cups over it. So I would say, and a 5 of Rods. So this is somebody who's playing both sides. On one hand, Bannon and Mercer are like, oh, we're cooperating. We're not breaking any laws. On the other hand, there's this Two of Swords energy, not wanting to give information, holding back information, possibly. The final outcome is death, that this cat and mouse game is coming to an end. And also, there's just a lack of interest. As more and more people move towards the green economy, the old ideas just start to fall apart, because it's not how people make their money anymore. Let's look at the lockdowns now. Four of Swords sitting in our bed. That's whimsy. That's what, you know, when the lockdown first happened, we all wanted to be, you know, put on the makeup, be professional, be about our bit. But, you know, after how long have I been in lockdown? Since March, April? You know, after you you don't even try anymore. It's like we're all in the bed. We're all just hanging out in the bed, bored, you know. But Four of Swords is interesting as an outcome. Let's see. Ace of Pentacles is an economic advantage to changing the situation, death and transformation with the Four of Swords. Which is kind of not to do much of anything. Wheel of Fortune, Four of Cups. They say we have to learn patience. Temperance card. Learn patience. If the lockdown happens, there are government grants to bail. If your business was shut down for 4, 5, 6 months, it is very likely that the Biden administration is going to pay you to reopen, because you can see the karma card over an Ace of Pentacles. I think that what's going to happen is that if you are asked by, say, the state of New York to shut down your pizzeria or whatnot, and you can keep track of the fact that you are out 4 months worth of work or whatever, there will be a financial incentive afterwards to save your business. So, but the fact that the cards are saying Temperance and Four of Swords would lead me to suspect that we are probably going to be in lockdown at least for another, I would say 6 weeks to 8 months, or 6 weeks to 2 months at least, before enough people start getting the vaccine. So that's the story. Be patient. Give it another a couple months. And, I want to look at Pence, because I don't. I'm even wearing, people want to, do you even wear pants? I'm wearing my jeans, right? It's like I actually dressed today. That's. All right. This is Pence. Oh my God. What's basically happening, I think, with Pence is that Pence is in a position where it would probably be a good idea for him not to return Donald Trump's phone calls. It literally looks like that. Like when you go into this energy, it's a feeling like, I don't know you. If Trump is trying to communicate with Pence right now, Pence is probably being advised by his lawyers to be careful about communicating with Trump at this point, because you have the star card coming in. So he's the star. Everything is focused on him. The lover's tryst is something, if it's something like a criminal investigation or something like that, I would read lovers as an affair or a clandestine meeting, or, they're off by cloak of darkness, working something out between them. But I really feel like Trump has blown it. Page of Pentacles, the fact that there's some kind of potential financial benefit to Pence, but I don't even know how to interpret what's. I mean, it's the only way that I would interpret this, the clarification, 3 of Rods can be within 3 months. It's also a wish card over his star. The Queen of Cups, the great offer, the lover, could be that he is being asked to negotiate some kind of concession from Donald Trump. And the fact that there's a lover's card here could be clandestine or private meetings. Page of Pentacles, that there's coin or secret or ground communication. Queen of Pentacles as the outcome is the secret keeper. Often secrets about money lead me to suspect that something's going on, and possibly even a financial incentive for Pence if he maneuvers Trump's exit. That's the best way for me to interpret that. I want to just check Trump now, see where he's at. How's everybody doing? Having fun? Kamala. Yeah, we can. Let me look at Trump. Ugh. He's got a reprieve. He's going to be, he might be rescued. The sun, everything's coming out. Here's COVID. It's also the Fox's card in the Fox outmaneuvering his strategy in the Whimsy deck. And then the final outcome, he's given an offer to leave. Just go. Have a happy holidays. He will be given the, it goes back to the remotes where Lindsey Graham says, you got to go, Mr. President. You're not helping us in Georgia. You cost us Georgia. No, we don't want you campaigning in Georgia. We want you to just go. Just go, Mr. President. You can't stay. You gots to go. That's Lindsey Graham. Knight of Cups. This could be something where, the GOP is really trying to get him to step down and save him. Boy, he really screwed up by not taking that resignation offer a couple years ago. When the liberal people that are not the liberals, but the former Republicans from previous administrations that had worked with the Justice Department or they had worked with the ethics, they were all saying, what was his name? Painter? He was saying, your goose is cooked. Take the deal now. Remember when Painter was saying that? And Trump just shrugged it off because he was used to using delays and all kinds of tactics to avoid jail. He will take a deal, but he will come to regret that deal. The Fool. Over a deal he takes, negotiated by Pence through the GOP. So yeah, I think it's very possible he'll step down. Maybe he'll shock us and show up at the inauguration and act like a gentleman, but I don't see him at the inauguration. I see Pence at the inauguration. All right, we're going to look at Kamala Harris's health. She's fine. She's got the star, an anointing, observing a theft or attempt to get away with something, the King of Cups. Somebody had asked about Pete Bharara. I think she's going to hire him possibly as AG because he's coming up energetically in her cards as well. She's going to be part of the transition team hiring people. Mila, you're not supposed to be doing that. Even if you do want attention, you can come sit with me instead, though. She's a scholar. She's got the Hermit card, Ace of Cups, giving somebody an offer to investigate some type of corruption, and then 5 of Rods, the conflict. Somebody needs attention. Are you in charge? Yes, you are. Oh, yes, you are. Yeah, here, just for you. Just go here. Here you go. Just for you. Good fish. Mila, you coming? You coming? I am not in charge of anything. Isn't that weird, though, when you go into that energy that the Republicans can maneuver something like that? Like, they're secretly talking. They're secretly trying to work this out. They're secretly meeting with Pence. They're telling Pence that it'll be profitable for him, that they'll work out some secret deal with Pence to protect him because they need the if Trump cannot do the transition, then they need Pence to do the transition because it's a security issue. Hi, Marie. Good to see you here. God, that's all right. People had asked about Nancy Pelosi and her communicating with. I know Marie had a dream about that. So let's see if we can get anything further information about Nancy Pelosi and the investigation. I keep seeing Pete Barrara. I don't think the criminal investigation on these people ever stopped. I don't think Five of Pentacles is moving in, the ugly duckling, right? The person driven off, Ace of Rods, and then Four of Cups. So it just feels to me when you go into Nancy Pelosi's energy, like she is very aware of what the conclusion is from the intelligence agencies, the criminal investigations that are going on. And it's almost like a feeling that the politicians have to step back because the feds are coming. Even if you can't fire away the problem, you can't fire Christopher Wray and stop the investigation. You can't keep firing your FBI people. It won't work. And I always feel when I go into this energy that Trump is being warned that he will be. He should start cooperating, or there will be consequences. Mila, don't knock that over. Excuse me. I'll be back in a sec. Yes, what do you need? Come on. There you go. Yes. I love you. She wants me to get offline. She wants me to hang out with her. And she will knock that over. She's done it before. Okay. Yeah, I think that nobody can save this president. That's my interpretation of this. Nobody can save this president, and including Nancy Pelosi. Look at this. In the hot seat. Yeah, it's his karma. The Wheel of Fortune. It's more like a modern Buddhist. People have said, what's the difference between modern Buddhism versus feudalism, Theravada? Modern Buddhism has a different interpretation of karma. It's more that there are all kinds of causes simultaneously being created, and just to be mindful of that. And unfortunately, this president created a lot of bad causes, and now the consequences are coming. I want to look at Pete Bharara just because I really think he could wind up in a very important position. I don't think anyone can save this president, even if they give him false security by leaving and they, through some miracle, they negotiate something with Pence just because if they don't get this lunatic out of there soon, millions of Americans could die. He's not doing anything, which I suppose is a negotiation tool, because if I sit like the Four of Cups and refuse to move, give me my candy. I want. Give me what I want. Give me the severance package I want. Give me the pardon I want, or I'm just going to sit here and let people die from a pandemic. That's what it's starting to look like for me as the empath. He'll be offered a new job in the new administration. Three of Cups to celebrate, dancing in the streets. Wheel of Fortune, it is his karma. And the final outcome, Ace of Rods, a new beginning. So yeah, he will be offered a position. He has the world. The Empress, he's going to be handed a lot of information. Empress is information. The Treasure Trove, Six of Pentacles. It's where he belongs. Six of Pentacles is also one's home, one's hearth. Six is salt of the earth energy. Mila, you don't want to join us? You just want to play? All right, we'll switch cards. I'm going to use the Italian deck now. Okay, so people had asked me about the future of the Supreme Court and Judge Alito. That was Preet Bharara. He's going to be offered a position of great importance in the new administration. I'm getting through everything as fast as I can. These are beautiful. This is the Italian medieval deck. People say, we want to see all your decks. I have a lot of decks, but I will try and show my decks more so that people can see them. We love the tarot. That's what all the readers have in common. We all just love, we are great lovers of the tarot. There will be a 10th man. The 10 of Wands. He has the Ace of Pentacles over him, so it could be a feeling like they feel that the court is, they feel the court is strong. He feels the court is strong. I don't feel when I go into this energy that the court is quite, I don't get that this is a pro-Trump court. I do think the court is confused about the future of the court because the Seven of Cups is confusion in the clouds, doesn't know what the future of the courts themselves don't know where they're headed. But the fact that there's a 10 of Wands and the question was about a 10th man, King of Wands moving in, the Pope, which is the Hierophant, and then the final outcome, 4 of Coins. We could stop at only 10, but we could add an additional person just to balance the courts. But the fact that there's King of Wands coming into the energy, the fact that the Pope or the Hierophant is coming in, has to do with the issue of the Constitution. A lot of people, this is something I wanted to also mention in a remote that happened last night. A lot of people are talking about the fact that the Democrats lost 12 seats, right? Something like 12 seats. We gained some seats also, but we lost a bunch of seats. And so now Democratic operatives, organizers are saying no more talk about socialism, because socialism is what costs the seats. So the response from the Democrats to push the social programs is that they will stop using, this is what came up, they will stop using democratic socialism as a word. And instead, we're going to start saying we're constitutionalist. Because it's not, democratic socialism is just code word for constitutionalist. If you believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and somebody's working you into an early grave and not supplying PPE to protect you from getting a deadly virus, and you're only getting paid $10 an hour and you can't feed yourself and you're out on the street and you're walking around with a deadly infection, then you are not experiencing life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Your life, your liberty, and your pursuit of happiness is being obstructed. Therefore, the person who you're working for is engaging in activities that go against your rights, your constitutional rights as an American citizen. So the argument shifts moving forward with the new administration and the new integration into away from things like democratic socialism towards we are constitutionalist. And because we are constitutionalists, we understand that if I'm going to be paying if a third of my money goes towards taxes, as an American, I have a right to know it's my money. And if I'm paying the same taxes as they're paying in France, I want health care. So it just shows a shift in how to communicate these ideas to people who may have preconceived ideas about certain words like socialism. So I saw that changing from democratic to constitutionalist. We are constitutionalist. Okay. The next question I had was the future of our Biden administration with Boris Johnson and his plans for the hard Brexit. This is the hard Brexit and the future of Boris Johnson. I like 3-card money because it's just boom, boom. You can do a lot of blitzes this way. I was doing like 12-card spreads. It takes too long. I said, God, I forgot what I was reading on. I was like, man, these cards are terrible. And then I remembered it was Brexit. Oh my God. 7 of Wands, defending territory, defending one's right. Temperance, people losing patience. Final outcome, there will be a judgment. The judgment is coming. Judgment card is the outcome over Brexit. Where we are at, temperance, tempers flying. The 7 of Wands is the beginning. And the 7 of Wands is defending my right, me. It's falling apart. Brexit is falling apart. The energy is shifting. The wind beneath my wings has shifted with this new. It's like Brexit was packaged to be a beautiful gourmet dinner. I was chuckling this morning when I was getting ready. I was saying, when they sold Brexit, it was going to be this beautiful, delicious, high quality gourmet dinner. And now it's starting to look like day old McDonald's, right? It's just like, what the hell is this? Well, this is Brexit. I can't eat that. It has that aspect to it. It's like, what the hell? It's not, a judgment has to be made regarding something, conflict Five of Wands, fighting and desire to establish territory. Regarding fighting of the issues, a woman will step in to try and negotiate. This is maybe it's Theresa May. Queen of Cups comes in to diffuse the situation. I think that people should ask Boris Johnson to step down because his cards are horrible. He's a failure. He's leaving. I think he's leaving. Final outcome, 8 of Cups, to leave to find the 9th cup. He's I think he's a little confused. He seems so messed up. Every time I see him, he just looks like he's a mess. Yeah, he moves on, 8 of Cups. He goes elsewhere, the Chariot. He moves on due to a judgment, right? The middle energy, the energy we're in right now, the Page of Wands, a new beginning with the Queen of Cups because people have lost impatience. That's where we're headed. That's, the past and where we, his relationship with the world, right? Brexit's relationship with the world, the 5 of Wands, conflict and fighting, people defending their territory. Here's what happened based on these cards. The only thing that happened was that people got exhausted and tired fighting about something they knew was impossible to implement. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. World, fighting, 5 of Wands, can't agree, defending territory. World, fighting, conflict, can't agree. It just goes on and on and on. 4 years ago, I told people Brexit was impossible. And you didn't know what you're talking about. How long has this been going on? Since before Trump was elected president. It's been going on for 4.5 years. Let it go, let it go, let it go. It's not going to happen. So that's that constant fighting about Brexit, and then they're entering into the time of the negotiation, Page of Wands, strong leadership, a female, possibly a water sign coming in to negotiate a situation, and then somebody flees or leaves the situation. Chariot moves on to seek solace elsewhere, possibly with 8 of Cups. So Brexit looks terrible as usual. Johnson looks like he'll be usurped. A strong female is coming in. She has the Queen of Cups energy, so she's somebody who's the great mediator. The bridge over troubled water is how I think of the King and Queen of Cups. They come to bring peace. The problem, though, is that the Queen of Cups also has an aspect to her where she's a little dreamy, a little flaky. So the fact that there was an Ace of Wands there means there has to be something there to construct it solid. But I've never thought Brexit could work because every time you went into the energy, it was like a huge mess. And it's still a huge mess. All right. So people had asked about the election, whether or not the election was stolen, whether or not the election was fraudulent. So I'll go ahead and I will check on that. And I'll use the universal Rider-Waite. Let's see here. Somebody's. I'm specifically looking at Georgia, and people were concerned that Rick Scott had stolen something about Rick Scott and stealing Georgia, and people were concerned that Rick Scott was going to help with stealing Georgia. 3 of Wands is to build a new foundation. It's also the wish card. The The Knight of Pentacles is to go nowhere, and then the final outcome is to establish a new blueprint. Or a Three of Pentacles is a card that has to do with real estate. I feel that one person is probably not coming back to the Senate from Georgia, just because that Knight of Pentacles is there, and just because the Three of Pentacles comes in as a final outcome, which means that somebody else may be getting the contract. I'll try and see a little bit more. There's an offer and somebody's in the grave. Look at that. Someone's in the grave. Hi, Connie. Thank you. There's an offer here over one person, and then one person goes in the grave, and then a new contract is negotiation. I think we'll get at least one seat out of Georgia. I want to check on Ossoff. Ossoff, he's the one that's having the hardest time. The Reverend, he has an unusual name. Yeah, Michelle, but a lot of people are privately asking Mitch McConnell to step down. And that's probably when they come back from, they're going on a recess, or there's something that's going to be happening in the coming weeks. It's like Pelosi, she had to fight to get back in. There's a lot of people that want, it's a new energy coming in. If you want to capture the young Democrats and the young male independents, you're going to have to embrace green capitalism and start working with people. And you can't do that with Mitch McConnell. And it doesn't help Kentucky. Kentucky wants green business. So I just want to check and see if Mitch McConnell is going to be asked to step down, because I think that he's not well. He's old. He's on blood thinners. You know, he's got a lot of health challenges. I just want to see the future of Mitch McConnell real fast. We're going late. I'm having too much fun. Oh, he's so screwed. I'm sorry. He's in a state of complete confusion. The moon. He feels defensive. He's protecting his territory. Yes, he's been asked he will be asked privately to step down. The writing's on the wall. They lost Georgia. Get a hint. Thank you, crazy cat lady. I too am a crazy cat lady. Is this not fun as heck? It's so fun when we win, right? But look at his cards. Just look at Mitch. First, second, and third. Or no, goes like this. Completely confused, feeling defensive, and then what's his outcome? He needs to start working with the other side. Look at that. Let's do a clarification. I think we may be saying goodbye to Mitch. Oh, look at him. He's handing over the money. Six of Pentacles. The only way he can get out of the doghouse is to cooperate. Ace of Wands is moving in as a clarification. His final outcome over, he will leave. The Eight of Cups, to walk away from what he's built. Somebody else gets the cup. They're going to ask him to step down. They can't force him, but the times have changed. He's an obstructionist, and we don't need that right now. Thank you, Annie Jeans. What do you think? Let's take a break here. What do you think? Anybody feeling bad for Mitch McConnell? That he's being asked privately to step aside? Thank you, Michelle. That's very kind. I appreciate it. And I love the art piece from the artist. I can't pronounce her name. Oh my God, it's going so fast. No, not any tears for little Mitch being asked to leave. That's got to be rough, though, when your friends are quietly taking you aside and saying, Mitch, you had a good run, but it's time to hand the torch to someone. You have to go. It's like Trump needs to go and McConnell needs to go. So who do you remember when we had done Mitch McConnell? Remember when we had done the remotes a couple years ago? We talked about archetypes and that inevitably Mitch McConnell would have to cut the head off the beast. So he did that. He cut the GOP funding, right? So how do you nip this whole crazy in the bud with Donald Trump? You tell Donald Trump that the GOP won't be giving him money for any more rallies unless you want to work for the GOP. Now, it gets to be even more unpleasant than that. Oh, I thought I gave Douglas his, I don't see Douglas here. Where'd you go, Douglas? Say hello so I can make you a moderator. I clicked it for whatever reason. Oh, he left? All right, I'll find him. So it's a really gross energy when you go into it with Mitch McConnell, in the sense that when you go into the energy on Mitch McConnell, it's kind of like there's no love lost between him and Donald Trump. You know, last night when I was doing it, and I was, you know, when you're doing a remote and you're falling asleep and you know you're supposed to journal and document everything, and you're falling asleep and you think, well, I'll certainly remember something like that. That's such an important remote. And then you fall asleep and then you wake up in the next morning and say, what the hell was that? It was really important and I can't remember what it is. I now remember what it was from last night. The incredible dislike that Mitch McConnell has for Donald Trump is now apparent to Donald Trump. They don't have to fake anything between the two of them, but Mitch McConnell has the GOP purse strings. So if you dislike somebody and you've put up with them for the last 4 years and you paid for them and this is like a divorce where you're both living in the same house and the guy has to pay a certain amount of money, at least, or the girl, at least for the next 67 days or however long. So you can imagine what the tension is like. So how it feels to me going into Mitch McConnell's energy is that we paid for you. You're sitting in the White House because of us. We defended you. We got you off in the Senate just like we said we would. We own you. We own you for the next 67 days. So go do your job and smile and play your role, do your role and do what we say, because you are not an independent person yet. You will be, but not yet. The GOP owns you. So you're going to play nice and do what Mitch McConnell wants until you get out of there, because we've washed our hands of you. We will publicly defend you to the best of our ability because we're afraid of your base, but we see what's coming. We see the feds are chomping at the bit. We know that they're coming to get you, but we've got you for the next 67 days. And so it's a feeling here like you are our personal puppet for 67 days. You're going to play nice. You're going to be polite, and you're going to do what we tell you to do when we tell you to do it. It's that kind of, what happened? But I'm the president. Not any longer. You're not going to be. You're just it's a very, it's the person who's been fired, but they have to still go and do their job. And it's a very tense relationship between you and your employer. It's that horrible feeling you get when you go between Mitch McConnell and Donald Trump. And it's also a feeling where he is now respected as much as he respected the Senate. As much as he respected Mitch McConnell is how much Mitch McConnell privately respects him. So it's almost like treating him like a cheap prostitute. Just go out and do your job. Go. I paid for, go do it. I don't care if you don't like it. Go smile and shake those people's hand. We want our money. The GOP put you there. So it's that kind of a creepy feeling. And I thought, oh, I hope I don't forget to tell people about that. But that is the feeling. Okay, Rudy Giuliani. Yeah, but Mitch McConnell, woof. All right, show us your leg. Yep, spread your legs. Well, Mitch McConnell did it too. Remember when a couple years back, when people said, could you get into the head of Mitch McConnell and why he's acting that way with Donald Trump? And then we did a remote, and what did he say? He said, it's all about the courts. It's all going to be about the courts with me. We're just going to stack the courts. And I thought, okay, I'll go back and tell the group, hey, it's all about the courts. He says you can do whatever the hell you want to me, Donald Trump. I will be your personal prostitute for 4 years. I will do whatever you ask, so long as you let me do what I want to do in the Senate. It's all about the courts. It's all about the courts. It's all about the courts. And here we are. They're not even keeping it a secret. It's all about the courts. People can die of COVID, but it's all about the courts. It's all about the courts. But now his relationship is coming to an end with Trump. So it's like treating him like the whore. I paid for the whore, and now this is what the whore is going to do for the next 67 days. It's a really gross, unpleasant energy. And it'll be very, very interesting to see how Mitch McConnell maneuvers what he secretly thinks of this president with what he publicly says to appease the base. Aren't these just the most wonderful people? We're getting one seat. We could possibly get Ossoff if criminal charges go against Purdue. If that continues to accelerate, it could cost him the election, and we could get 2 seats. But I'll look at the cards individually if you like. But let me just check the future of Rudy Giuliani, and then we'll do the specifics on the Georgia seat. I think that he's kind of a little bit crazy. The sun is coming out. There's something that's going to be exposed. He's concerned about jail, and it enters a new chapter. Let's do a clarification on that. He's hanging up his involvement with this president because there's a hangman moving in over it. Something's going to obstruct his actions. I think we're also moving into possibly world courts or possible world trials about something about the world in jail. This almost looks like The Hague. I always see that. Money laundering. He's going to be, they're going to catch him engaged in some kind of activity, shady money dealing, possibly involving international contacts with the world card there. All right, remind me. Okay, so we'll do Purdue and Ossoff. I can never pronounce that guy's name. Oh, thank you. I like my room divider. Yeah, Netanyahu will do. Let's look at Ossoff's cards first, and then I forget the Reverend has a very unusual name. If people can remind me what the Reverend's name is, I'll do him as well. Here's Ossoff in whether or not Ossoff will win in Georgia. Just looking straight at the cards. He's very strong. The Emperor card comes in, so he's a strong authority. His conflict or what he's dealing with, Queen of Cups, people want him to be a little bit more agreeable. There's something about him where he's so rigid, it's turning off moderate Republicans. Queen of Cups is a little bit more gentle. It's the Queen of Hearts. The Chariot card is moving on, so it could indicate he doesn't win, but I'll do a clarification. Yeah, 9 of Swords. He's having some problems with his campaign. He's being something about Somebody's trying to sabotage his campaign. You can see Moon here. They're muddying the waters and creating chaos and confusion to hurt his campaign. And if they succeed, they will create so much chaos and confusion and muck that, because the outcome is complete confusion, could derail his campaign. Chaos. They're using chaos. They're using the Steve Bannon technique. Okay. I think it's so cool. Kamala Harris married a nice Jewish boy. And he's now being officially called the second gentleman. Reverend Warnock. What was Warnock? But he hasn't. Reverend Warnock's name is really unusual. He has like an old school name. He did, but if you voted for Purdue and if someone's hammering you that hard and you're confused and you're getting gaslit and they're saying crazy things, there's just chaos. Your moon is to howl with the moon. It's confusion. Okay, Reverend Warnock. What's his first name? He has a Raphael? Yeah, Raphael. Oh, that's one of my favorite archangels. They say he will probably win and he will be a healing balm to Georgia. The fool took a leap of faith. It feels to me like almost a spiritual calling that he felt he was called to run this seat. That he had faith. The fool, he had faith. That's why he ran. There are a lot of people that know him and trust his leadership that are standing with him. 6 of Wands. He wants to also, is the victory card. He also wants to extend his congregation out. He's always wanted to do that as a leader in the spirituals community. And he offers himself as a healing balm to Georgia, to the nation. The final outcome comes as Page of Cups, who's Hermes, who brings the elixir. He's a healer. He's similar to Michelle, like he pulls the root. This is someone that karma. Their karma is they're called to heal. Let me just do a clarification here. He's very strong. He's very logical. He's very practical. He's very down to earth, even though he's spiritual. With the King of Pentacles, would be a grounded king. Over his victory, he will sign a new contract. Yeah, he's getting in probably. And then his final, he will be a healing to the nation. He sends love from God, the healing from high, from spirit. Very, very sacred, very special person. Healer woman, healer man. Just like you, Miss Michelle. Healer woman. All right, we got time for a couple of more. All right. The last one I had was Lindsey Graham, and then we can open the floor for a couple minutes. We can do, for people who have to leave after this, love and light to you. Thanks for coming in. Be sure, share, like, subscribe, push the notification button if you'd like to be notified about upcoming videos. This will be the last throw, and then we'll go into the after hours where we chat, we talk about politics and all kinds of things. But if you don't want to stay for the after hour, and if you need to go after this reading, we totally get it, and we look forward to seeing you next time. So last throw before the after hours will be Lindsey Graham. What a mess. He's worried about his health. He made a commitment to do something that he doesn't know if he has the health. And also he's flying back and forth. You can see Knight of Wands. He's traveling. His health is a questionable, and he feels that he committed himself to another 6 years, but he questions, he thinks he may have made a mistake. Something is going to be exposed about him that's a source of great embarrassment. He will have to go along with the new administration, and there's an element of shame here. The sun came out over his shame, the thing he didn't want to see, look at, or know gets exposed. He's still going to be outed. Boy, I don't like that inverted strength card in his first house. Something about his money. I think he might have invested in something that's questionable. Look at that. And then he is shamed publicly. And by the way, with that strength card there, there's a feeling like when you're feeling like that, like, I don't know if I should have taken on another 6 years. It's that kind of, he's going to be outed. Probably Christopher, but, oh, he got rid of his stocks? Did he really? Yeah, but inverted strength can also be physical health. Anyway, so that is that. Did everybody have fun? Everybody have a good time? Want to hang out after hours now and do some naughty, quick additional readings maybe? Hi, Tova. You're very welcome. Wish I could find Mr. Douglas here so I can, let's see here. It's around somewhere. Somebody wanted me to check produce. We can just hang out a little bit, kind of give ourselves a little bit of an after-hour show. Talk about love, light, the philosophies of life, what we had for dinner. I cannot see Douglas here anywhere. I don't know what the heck happened to him. It's all a mystery. Clarence Fields thought Ossoff was a hottie. Yes, he is. I actually agree with you. He is a cute guy. I hope people who went off to watch the Seahawks game enjoyed watching it. An adventurous spirit left. All right, I can't find Douglas. Oh, well. The next time I will definitely invite him. All right. Where the 45s have their eye open? I think so. If you offer people jobs, then is the SARS-CoV-2 virus cleared from the human body? I do the continuing ed. You'd think that it's pretty impressive, right? I do my continuing ed at Harvard Medical School. I'm so special. But but when you go online, there's so many unanswered questions, even like the best minds. We know that a lot of people have like a vasculitis. We just don't know. We just don't. There's so much we still don't know. The fate of the Supreme Court, we see a 10th judge. Let's look at Barr. Let's use the Radiance deck. Wow, a lot of people like after hours. We kept everybody. I said, you don't have to stay. We're just going to hang out and be casual now. And just anything that comes up. And Clarence, you're such a cutie pie. I can't imagine when you'd have trouble having a love life. You just got to put yourself out there. Write some poetry. Yeah, Keisha Harris. We're looking at Barr. I don't know. On some level, I think he's happy. There's some aspect where he's celebrating the win of Biden. You could see Four of Wands is to celebrate. So on some level, I think he's glad this nightmare is coming to an end. The Ten of Pentacles is an inheritance card, but if you've been watching the channel for a while, I also read it as secrets. Secrets, gossiping, things secretly going on, things hidden, people hiding, watching. There's an aspect of secrecy and spying. It's not the spy card, but there's spying and gossip I associate with it. Eight of Swords. He's put himself in a bit of a mess. Eight of Swords is when you place yourself in a disastrous situation. He got his wish. He secretly didn't want Trump to win a second term. Isn't that interesting? Secrets regarding money that was there was money that was allotted to do things that were questionable. Maybe it was questionable investigations or something like that, but the money was never used or it was held. There was something about an investigation or secret thing that they were supposed to do, and they had even been potentially offered money to do it, but they refused it. He's going to be almost hysterical when the feds come in. That's what I see. Because his final outcome is the inverted Queen of Wands. So what's the inverted Queen of Wands? The inverted Queen of Wands is my way or the highway. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. I want to take this stick and I'm out. You better not come any closer. That's inverted Queen of Wands. Like, I got a big stick and I know how to use it my way, my way. That's inverted Queen of Wands over what? A situation he has placed himself in that he can't get out of. Regarding what? Some hidden secrets or something regarding money and a money exchange. He did get his wish with the transition. He wanted this nightmare to end. Boy, I'd be very curious if he wasn't secretly supplying evidence against the administration while simultaneously working for it with cards like that. Boy, everybody has an out. Everybody has a way of protecting themselves, including Barr. Wonderful people. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Asked him to resign? Yeah, last week we did an after hours. One thing led to another, and we started talking about the philosophy of eugenics, which is what I did my thesis. It was actually my dissertation. But the year that I graduated from medical school, as I was working on my dissertation, they said, great news, you don't have to deliver the dissertation. Instead, you just have to do ABC and you can graduate. I said, yeah, but I'm working on this dissertation. So then I did something really passive aggressive. I took all my notes from the dissertation that I had been working on and I mailed them to all my professors as an act of frustration. I did. Here's the dissertation that you don't want. Anyway. So then I licked my wounds for a couple of years, and then I went and completed it. And anyway, so I was on eugenics, and that was a science that grew out of the British aristocracy at the time of germ theory. And it was basically a science that was created to justify why the aristocrats needed to stay in charge of Europe. But, so that's what we talked about last week. But I got a really angry email or angry comment from somebody saying that she was sick of listening to me talk about it, and I didn't know what I was talking about. And so, being as passive aggressive as I can be, being that I am the inverted Queen of Wands at times, I said, "Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, I just happen to have my dissertation here." And you can read it along with all of the resources, and you can see it's peer reviewed. Next. So yes, it was a little bit, but yeah, I was getting a little annoyed. Yeah, Jane, there's so many great tarot readers. It reminded me of that Woody Allen, Annie Hall, where the guy is talking about the film director and he's analyzing the film director, and when Woody Allen is waiting to see a movie and he turns McLuhan, the director, you know nothing about McLuhan, and I happen to have him right here, and he's going to tell you that I'm right and you're wrong. It was kind of like that. So when somebody says, you know nothing about eugenics, you made the, yeah, well, I happen to have my dissertation. Amy Coney Barrett. Let's take a look at her. Well, the justification of Barr is that he kept notes and he was secretly spying on the person he was working for and handing it all over to the FBI from what those cards look like. And that's his out. Everybody has an out. Amy Coney Barrett. She loves the law. She loves the Constitution, and she says the Constitution will hold the lover, the healer, right? The elixir, the courts. She's not interested in destroying the courts. Strong love of the law, the strength. She's not out to make war. The bridge over Troy. What she believes personally, she feels she can separate the two. She feels like the courts are in a lot of trouble, and she doesn't condone it. She is saying in this remote that she does not condone politicizing the courts. She actually doesn't agree with that. She hates the state of the courts right now. There's going to be a major investigation overhauling the courts, people that took money and corruption, but it will not touch her. It's something that she witnesses that's a source of unhappiness for her. But she's not directly implicated. I just want to see how she votes. She does not. I've never felt she presented as quite the threat we were worried about. Kavanaugh turned out to be the big surprise. I don't think that people expected Kavanaugh to switch to be moving so far left, but maybe that was the point that, RBG knew how to talk to these people. I can't. But RBG knew how to get in and talk to these people. She is sad. She's sad about the state of the courts. I would say that Amy Coney Barrett, she's very sad to see the state of the court. Her personal faith and her personal beliefs are her personal faith and her personal beliefs, but that's not my job when I go to the courts. And it saddens me that all this stuff is going on, infighting, questioning money or stuff. Maybe I have been too insulated. Maybe I was too much in my own, focusing on my stuff, and there were things going on around me that seemed incidental, but now that it's being pointed out to me, that it's being perceived like that, it's a source of it's upsetting. It's very upsetting. And to suggest that because of my faith or the church that I belong to, that I'm somehow in on all of that because of my personal faith is something that it's disturbing. Yeah, that's how I feel as Amy Coney Barrett. She's not going anywhere. That is her faith. So in plainer words, she is not conscious. Look, when you really want to hurt somebody, when you're angry and you're out to destroy their life, that kind of energy, that's not the energy here. This is the energy of someone who believes they have a deep, profound relationship with God and with their church and with their faith. And I don't see her as boastful. I think that it's a lot more private than people realize. It would be nothing that she would talk about at work. I don't get that impression. No, Tisha, I don't believe that. I believe that she's just I don't believe that. I don't believe she worships the devil. I don't believe, no. Just think that that's her faith. I used to be ultra-Orthodox Jewish. My mother used to work for Chabad Lubavitch. I don't think that people thought they were, they are 100% behind Donald Trump. They're all Trump advocates. Trump has a lot of support with Chabad. They're not bad people. They're just, but they're very misinformed and confused, I think. All right, so I want to just check Roger Stone because he's back in the news. Supposedly this disinformation is coming out with Roger Stone. So let's take a look at Roger Stone's cards. He found a new way to make money. Roger Stone presents as the moneymaker, the hidden queen, wheeling and dealing. He found a new money source. And he's as the defender, right? Defending his territory. He's very loyal to the president for helping him. He's trying to help the president. He's moving out of where he was to a new location where he feels it'll be safer. His dealings are questionable and they could involve drugs, alcohol, addiction, illegal activities. feds are over him again. He's going to have to give information. It's not over with, the story is not over with Roger Stone. Boy, talk about somebody who never learns. He's got the feds back on him again, engaging in more illegal activity and taking money from questionable sources. He had money card harvesting next to the devil, questionable, right? It could be addiction, drugs, sex abuse, codependency. So it could also be that he's financially indebted to people in a way that's kind of sleazy, right? Because it was associated with money. Well, bye, Keisha. We're going a little. Oh, thanks, Liz. Roma, thanks. Thank you for moderating, by the way, Keisha. Did Kavanaugh take money? What the? I mean, can you talk? Kavanaugh cracks me up. It's because he is still a little punk, but he's now a little punk laughing at Donald Trump. It's like Donald Trump thought that he was going to put these people in and he was going to be rescued. And Kavanaugh is like running and getting the dirt in his face and laughing at the president. Thanks for the job. No, I ain't going to do crap for you. I'm not going to go against the Constitution. It's like a joke. It's, I don't know. Did he take money? Took something, some kind of corruption. I don't think his marriage is working out. He's trying to get back with his wife because of some kind of devil card. This is his wife's card. He had an affair. His wife, remember, lovers to have an affair, the other over who? The Queen of Cups, his wife, trying to return back to her due to questionable sexual behavior, drug addiction, alcoholism. His marriage is in trouble. His final outcome, he's defending his actions. He's losing control of his marriage. It's not so much the money. If maybe they did bail him out of financial problems, but the main issue here is him trying to clean up his act with his wife because of other women. That's how I would interpret this. Returns back to an old love. What's the issue? Devil, sex, drugs, rock and roll, right? In relationship to who? The Queen of Cups, his wife, right? The bride, she wears the white dress. Other lovers. The issue for him, sobriety, right? Temperance next to a devil card would be what? Sobriety, right? So over his sobriety, he defends. So this is someone who may have a drug, alcohol, sex problem. Gosh, I feel sorry for his wife. Oh boy. This is Kavanaugh, yeah. I mean, Kavanaugh's horrible, but I have to admit the last couple of decisions he's made, I'm pleasantly surprised. Boffing, yes, boffing other people. Kavanaugh's wife is not a swinger. Oliver Stone is. Yeah, the problem is addiction, Philaron. The devil with lovers, though. But temperance is an addiction. Temperance is actually an addiction issue. But people who are addicted to drugs will often be addicted to women, sex, pornography. I have empathy for everybody. I mean, I was born a hostage. It made me a very empathetic person. You know, I'm an empath. I perpetually have Stockholm syndrome. So when I go into the energy on Kavanaugh, I kind of feel bad for him because he's losing control. 7 of Wands over the issue of his marriage and infidelity and a drug and alcohol problem. How could you not feel sorry? I do. I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for Donald Trump. Because I think he's crazy, and I don't think he's in control of his behavior. I think he needs to be in some kind of a facility or something. He's insane. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and close. We've been hanging out for over 2 hours. Rhonda, I totally understand if you don't have sympathy. Y'all, women of Tarot, if a girl posts multiple, I don't understand the question. Will Kavanaugh leave the court? It didn't look like he was leaving the court. It looked like he was having serious marriage problems and trying to keep his wife from leaving him, because he did what a lot of people do. They get married and then they take their spouse for granted, but he had issues before that. Roger Stone did. I think those studs were for both of them, not just for his wife. I'm wiped out. I can't do any more throws. Stone is pretty disgusting. All right, love and light to everybody. If you're still trying to get in for a reading, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com. If you need to see me as a doctor, you can go to drwhimsy.com. Thanks, everybody, for your support. Thanks, Michelle Taylor, for your support. Thank you, Fillerin, for moderating today. If people who I turned into moderators don't want to be moderators, that's cool. I can, like Fillerin, I just did that because I saw we had so many people, and I had to add some more. Don't know why I can't find Douglas. It's really strange. I wonder if I accidentally deleted him and I pushed the wrong button. It's so frustrating. All right, the next time I see him, I'll fix it. All right, love and light, everybody. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you, everyone. I will see you next time. Be well. Arrivederci. Ciao, everybody.